With me, of course, is Buddy Colton. Buddy, I guess the talk of the wrestling world right now are the $20,000 tag team battle royals that are going to be taking place in the state of Florida beginning tonight.
That's right. Tonight at Bayfront Center over in St. Petersburg, there will be a $20,000 battle royal. Now, that means $10,000 for each man for the winner of this team. Now, but if only one man in that tag team should happen to lose, then the entire team is out. Now, remember, tonight, Bayfront Center is the start of the $20,000 Battle Royal. This is the first time ever, and I've been around wrestling many years, so I've seen something like this.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to be a tremendous situation tonight at the Bayfront and throughout the entire state of Florida during this upcoming week. Interesting point, Wahoo McDaniel, who many people consider to be the uncrowned world heavyweight champion, has been literally spending thousands and thousands of dollars buying up contracts throughout the state of Florida in his quest for the world championship currently held by Ric Flair. I have a hunch when Mr. Flair gets into town next week that he's going to leave the state of Florida sans that title belt.
Well, Ric Flair has a very tough, rugged schedule, and everybody has lost. Ric Flair has lost that title twice before because he is right now 3 times world champion. And I concur with what you just said, Gordon, that when Ric Flair leaves after next week, and I believe that Wahoo McDaniel will be the next World Heavyweight Wrestling Champion, because he is making a concerted effort. He is buying up the contracts from other wrestlers, making sure that he gets ample opportunity to win that title, and he's just the man to do it.
There's certainly no question about that. We'd also like to mention Championship Wrestling will be coming to Ocala on the 24th at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Also, Championship Wrestling does return to Cocoa Beach. That'll be on the 28th, and in Lake City on the 29th. And on the 31st, something very special is coming up that we'd like to take just a moment to talk to you about. There's a young man who lives in Plant City, Florida, who is in dire need of a liver transplant, and young Bobby Norman. And my good friend Jim L. Redman is in charge of the funds that are being handled for Bobby Norman. But there's going to be a very special battle of the celebrity softball game coming up at Lowry Park. I believe it is on the 31st. The TV stars going up against the radio stars. And our umpires, our base umpires for that game will be Larry Hamilton, Mark Reagan, Mr. B, Brian Blair, Mike Graham. And, Buddy, you're going to be there as in another capacity.
That's right. I will be the scorekeeper there, but I will be there at Lowry Park on Sunday.
Okay, that's Sunday the 31st. All proceeds going to the Bobby Norman Liver Transplant Fund. We certainly hope all of you will get out and see that game and watch our gentlemen officiate. They'll be on the other side of the fence for a change. And also, of course, we said all proceeds going to the Bobby Norman Fund. We've got a host of great matches upcoming. We're going to be seeing Mike Graham and Wahoo McDaniels in action. The new addition, Larry Hamilton, Mark Reagan. Mr. B, Brian Blair against Rick Rude in a one-fall 20-minute match. Bugsy McGraw will be here, Hector Guerrero, and many more. So it's going to be a great hour, that's for sure. Stay tuned. We'll be back with our first match right after we pause for these words. It's the first time ever in the state of Florida. It's coming here to Miami Beach in the Miami Beach Convention Center this coming Wednesday night, March 27th. Match time is 8:30 p.m. In addition to the World Heavyweight Championship, Ric Flair defending his title against the challenge of Wahoo McDaniels, there will be a $20,000 over-the-top rope tag team battle royal. Mike Graham and Brian Blair is one tag team. Hector Guerrero and Bugsy McGraw. Jesse Barr and Ravishing Rick Rude. Mark and Jay Youngblood. The new addition, Mark Reagan and Larry Hamilton. The Missing Link and the Assassin. Wild Bill Irwin and Buddy Roberts. Terry Gordy and Michael Hayes. These teams have entered. Right now I want to talk to Hector Guerrero and Bugsy McGraw. What a night.
What a night indeed. Brothers and sisters, we're talking $20,000. All we got to do is win. I'm going to tell you, Hector, when it comes to money like this, you can forget, you understand? We're not nice guys no longer. We're not going to be anything but mean, rude, and crude. Coming to Miami, $20,000 in my pocket means a lot to me. Tell them, Hector.
Yes. Not only that, that beats a lot of pesos with a lot of money for $20,000. But I want to say one thing to all my studies amigos. Quiero que vengan a esta batalla campal para que se den ustedes cuenta de qué tipo de correa sale más correa, pero para que vean ustedes qué tipo es lo que es Championship Wrestling of Florida. ¿Qué luchadores van a estar allí? Va a venir Ric Flair contra Wahoo McDaniel. Vengan a vernos, vengan a soportarnos, porque nosotros somos sus estrellas, venimos a verlos a ustedes, venimos para que ustedes se diviertan y estén con nosotros. Entonces quiero invitar a todos los latinos una vez más, a todos los puertorriqueños, a todos los cubanos, a todo el que sea latino, vengan a vernos. Si es mexicano, venga a vernos, los quiero conocer también. Gracias.
We like tacos, too.
Coming to Miami, baby. We're ready. Bring me $20,000 and a pizza.
All right, it's going to be Wednesday night, Miami Beach Convention Hall. Match time, 8:30.
This match is one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing to my left from Albany, Georgia, weighing in at 231 pounds, here's Dale Veazey. And his opponent to my right from Mexico City, Mexico, weighing in at 228 pounds, here's Hector Guerrero. One fall.
Guerrero going up against Dale Veazey. One fall, a 10-minute time limit. Guerrero in the sort of wine red trunks. Veazey in the black trunks. There's red and Guerrero caught on a high backdrop. Breaks it up as Veazey comes charging in. Guerrero, good spin under takedown. Another spin under takedown by Guerrero, and Veazey escapes from the ring.
I'll tell you, Dale Veazey is going to have his hands full with Hector Guerrero. You know, Hector Guerrero and his brother not too long ago were the United States Tag Team Heavyweight Wrestling Champions. And he had just made a successful tour of the Orient. Well, very nice drop toe hold. Coming up with a kind of a surfboard there on Dale Veazey with a nice ride.
And it is Guerrero now maintaining the ride, but they get into the ropes, and it's Veazey breaking free. Veazey now back on his feet. They meet collar and elbow. Veazey, sort of a modified fireman carry takedown. And it's Guerrero now with a head scissors broken by Veazey. Another spin under by Hector Guerrero. All right. It is Veazey bringing him up. Full body slam by Dale Veazey. Veazey down across the side of the head of Hector Guerrero. Veazey, of course, had his wrestling career almost ended a little over a year and a half ago. He was returning to his home one night from the matches, was in an extremely serious automobile crash, and was sidelined for over a year with very, very critical injuries. They told him he would never return to the ring, but he has not only returned to the ring, but certainly has returned to the ring as a top-notch competitor. Good, solid competitor. Excellent physique, very, very well developed.
Well, Dale Veazey has made a remarkable recovery from that. Watching this man in action now, you cannot tell that there was ever any type of injury of any sort. He's 110%. Well-muscled body. Spends a lot of time in the gym training. Right now, Hector Guerrero has control of Dale Veazey with this wrist lock. It looks like Dale Veazey is trying to figure a way out, and he did. He come in up with an inside cradle, going for a pinfall, but Hector Guerrero being able to power out, coming back to the feet. Both having a lot of respect for the other. Going into a chicken wing here. And to a flying head scissors.
Well executed by Hector Guerrero. I was talking to my good friend Ed Bookbinder and all of the members of his Rotary Club over in the Altamont Springs area recently. And had a chance to address that group at a breakfast meeting. And want to say a special hi to State Representative Art Grindle. It is Guerrero now. High vertical suplex. Good float over. Veazey powers out once again. Guerrero's got his hands full with Dale Veazey. Veazey has the edge on him in weight, I believe, and probably a little bit of an edge in power.
Well, but I believe that Hector Guerrero can make that up in experience. Well, that was a powerful full body slam, a power slam there. That knocks a lot of wind out of Hector Guerrero. Hector Guerrero is in trouble right now. Dale Veazey has control of the match, and that power might be telling now. Hector Guerrero is in a lot of trouble. You see the big, powerful forearms and elbows from Dale Veazey.
Irish whip into that turnbuckle, and it's Veazey driving the shoulder into the midsection of the abdominal wall, and now a gut wrench salto by Dale Veazey on Hector Guerrero. Count of two. A 2 count by referee Bill Alfonso. Easy, a short chopping right hand to the side of the jaw. Irish whip off throws. Misses as Guerrero somersaulted through, caught him with a beautiful drop kick. Another good drop kick on Easy. And Guerrero may have him stunned a bit here. Belly to back suplex. High bridge. Got the pinfall. Got the pinfall. Excellent move by Hector Guerrero. The belly to back suplex with a good high bridge. And Hector Guerrero gets the victory.
This match is one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing to my left from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, weighing in at 241 pounds, here's Mike Golden. His partner, parts unknown, weighing in at 300 pounds, the Assassin. And their opponent from Oklahoma, the great state of Oklahoma, weighing in at 251 pounds, here's Wahoo McDaniel. And his partner from Tampa, Florida, weighing in at 225 pounds, here's Mike Graham. One fall with a 10-minute time limit.
Okay, one fall, 10-minute time limit now in this match, an Australian tag team event. Some last-minute strategy being discussed by Mike Golden and the Assassin. Wahoo McDaniel and Mike Graham as tag team partners in this event. McDaniel as rough and tough as they come. Certainly no question about it. We told you at the beginning of the program about his quest for the World Heavyweight Championship. Brother from a front chancery, I guess, to a good high takedown. And now it is McDaniel keeping that side headlock up against those ring ropes.
Well, you know, one thing that makes Wahoo McDaniel such a tough competitor is it's almost impossible to hurt this man. Nothing really seems to bother him. You can beat on his head all day long, and unless you get him just right, knock him out, it doesn't bother him at all. Kind of slightly masochistic tendencies, you might say. There's Mike Graham with a nice arm bar on Mike Golden, just hanging on. So it's going to be up to Mike Golden to figure out a counter. Going right into a hammerlock. Well, looks like Mike Golden's way out, of course, is to tag the Assassin. In comes the Assassin. The Assassin has a world-renowned reputation. He's been around for quite a few years, traveled extensively around the world, and has been one of the top competitors everywhere that he might be.
Clean break. Mike Graham steps back, and the Assassin allowed him ample room to get back. It's the Assassin now getting that side headlock. Graham executed a fine fireman carry earlier on Golden to set up that series of holds. And it's Graham. Wow! Graham caught him coming in, full body slam. Fireman carry takedown again by Graham. And used the weight and momentum of the Assassin to his own advantage. Graham's got to be spotting him about 80 pounds. So he has to use that agility and that ability. All right, now Wahoo McDaniel's out there. Wahoo at about 270, I would imagine, between 260 and 270. Rough and rugged as they come.
Well, these two men here are, I would say, just about equally matched between the Assassin and Wahoo McDaniel. And a match last was these two. It's going to be whoever gets the right break. Whoever makes the first mistake could very well be the loser. There's the Assassin picking up Wahoo McDaniel. This shows the strength of the Assassin coming down with a full elbow across the upper chest. But it takes a lot to keep a man like Wahoo down.
Wahoo McDaniel on the canvas right now. Talking to Jim and Ed Hayes over in the Orlando area last week as well, and we're talking about Wahoo McDaniels and what an outstanding competitor he has been over the years. And a chop now by Wahoo McDaniels. McDaniels caught from behind by the Assassin as they double team, and it is McDaniels in trouble, and Mike Graham comes out, but is sent back by referee Bill Alfonso. Mike Golden separates, and the Assassin continues to get in some cheap shots. Now Golden with several to the midsection of Wahoo McDaniels. A snapmare that takes McDaniels back to the canvas again. McDaniels, one to the midsection, one to the top of the head. And some good double teaming there, buddy. It looks like McDaniels and Graham are going to kind of fight fire with fire.
Well, they can retaliate in the same manner that the Assassin and Mike Golden used. They know how to use all of the cheap tricks and cheap shots just as well as anybody else. And if they want to fight that way, I'm sure that Mike Graham can accommodate him. Very nice vertical play. This could be curtains for Mike Golden. Well, Mike Golden being able to kick out, being a well-conditioned athlete, a man like that can take a lot of punishment.
Snap there by Mike Graham once again, and Graham now drives the knee into the high chest and lower neck area, and Golden again comes out of it, and Golden rips across the eyes of Mike Graham. Graham could be in trouble here now as his head is smashed into the turnbuckle. It's Golden, very much in control of the situation at the moment, and Graham's head is smashed into the assassin's knee. Graham now underhook from behind, and it's the assassin getting in a cheap shot on the break. The assassin now with an Irish whip on Mike Graham. Carter with an elbow coming off the ropes. Graham back to the canvas once again. The assassin drives the knee into the pectoralis majors. And Graham slips away and is caught in the thoracic area of the back by the assassin. The assassin picks him up once again, a full body slam, makes the tag with Mike Golden. Golden moves into the ring. Graham caught again. He would be wise, I think, at this point to tag up with Wahoo McDaniel.
Well, it's definitely time for Mike Graham to try and fight his way to this corner and tag out. He's in a lot of trouble right now. And get a man like Mike Golden, the assassin, involved. Well, he made the smart move. It looked like he got over there, and he did tag out. In comes Wahoo McDaniel. Big drop coming off the rope, and down goes Mike Golden.
Got the 3 count. Got the 3 count, and so Chief Wahoo McDaniels and Mike Graham are victorious, and what a tag team combination they are indeed. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, this match is one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing to my right from Buffalo, New York, weighing in at 223 pounds, here's Mark Reagan. And his partner from Tampa, Florida, weighing in at 227 pounds, here's Larry Hamilton. And their opponents coming to the ring right now from Bad Street, USA, with a combined weight of 545 pounds, Buddy Roberts and Terry Gordy, the fabulous Freebirds. One fall with a 10-minute time limit. Bad Street in the whole USA.
There you see them, the fabulous Freebirds, Terry Bam Bam Gordy and the Golden Boy, Buddy Roberts. One fall, 10-minute time limit here, going up against 2 men who have amateur championship backgrounds. Mark Reagan, twice amateur wrestling champion, and Larry Hamilton, who's out there right now, was twice a Florida champion from the University of Tampa. So you've got some great experience and great background going against a fellow like Terry Bam Bam Gordy. Big, massive, powerful individual. Combine that with the speed and experience of Buddy Roberts, and you got a lot of problems on your hands. There's no question about that.
Well, I believe right here we're going to see the perfect example of a classic scientific wrestler against a big powerhouse family. Well, right there, Larry Hamilton thought him out, moved him. He moved out of the way, and down goes Terry Bam Bam Gordy. Very quick and smart thinking on the part of Larry Hamilton, but there he got caught up in that big power slam. That took a lot of wind out of his sails. And it looks like, well, once again, but there again, the backdoor, nice back through play. And down goes Terry Bam Bam Gordy. Like I said, Larry Hamilton is the classic scientific wrestler, and right now he's able to use the size and weight of Terry Bam Bam Gordy as leverage against himself. Here comes Mark Reagan hanging on to that side headlock.
Reagan, a fine competitor, recently came out of Texas to come here to the great state of Florida to compete. And good move by Reagan as he came up with a good flying head scissors. Had Terry Bam Bam Gordy completely befuddled on that one. Took him completely by surprise. And now into that turnbuckle. Reagan slipping away. Does so and gets a good wing over on the Golden Boy, Buddy Roberts.
Oh, there's Reagan just hanging onto that arm bar. It's going to be up to Buddy Roberts now to try to figure the best way to get out of this. Well, it looks like the threw back his fist, but the referee was there to catch it. Keeping an eye on it. Probably the best move will be to tag out.
Good move by Reagan in behind his man, rolling reverse into the saddle block. High bridge back. Thought he had the pin in Reagan. Moving beautifully now. Brother, you talk about liquid motion. You've got it in Larry Hamilton and Mark Reagan, the new addition. And I'll tell you what, they are indeed a new addition in tag team competition.
I'll tell you, this is only the second time I've seen Mark Reagan in action, and I'll tell you, brother, I am impressed. This man can go. He can move. He's smart. He's quick. He's agile. He has the physical conditioning. He has everything that it takes to be a top competitor. Once again, he outsmarted Buddy Roberts, and Buddy Roberts has been around a long time. And when you outsmart a man with the ring savvy of Buddy Roberts, you are doing some, and Mark Reagan is just outsmarting him and moving all over Buddy Roberts.
No question about that, and I'll tell you what, with these $20,000 tag team battle royals coming up, watch for the new addition, Larry Hamilton and Mark Reagan. They are going to prove to be difficult to a lot of people, no question about it. Good tag there. And Roberts now trying to turn that situation around. Smashes Hamilton into the knee of Terry Gordy. Terry Bam Bam Gordy exposed with a hard right hand back of the ear. Irish whip and caught him with a lariat coming off. And Hamilton firing blindly that time. Referee Del Alfonso, a count of 2. Hamilton powers out before the count. Terry Bam Bam Gordy exposed. The elbow to the top of the skull of Larry Hamilton.
Well, Terry Bam Bam Gordy is kind of sensing victory now. He has Larry Hamilton in a lot of trouble. When you get a man the size of Bam Bam Gordy and laying them big hard punches on that, Larry Hamilton could be practically finished now. Plus, they have him in his corner. He's in a very bad position right now. Looks like a sleeper.
Went for the sleeper. He did exactly that, buddy. He went for the sleeper. Golden Boy, Buddy Roberts has the sleeper on Larry Hamilton, but you can hear the crowd picking up the chant for Larry Hamilton and Hamilton. Down to the canvas now. Trying to slip away, does so. And Hamilton powers out before the count. Got him. And it's Hamilton reversing the situation. Now it's Hamilton with the sleeper holding Buddy Roberts. Charging into that far turnbuckle. And that's got Hamilton disturbed.
Well, down goes Buddy Roberts. Larry Hamilton moved out of the way, and the elbow came right down on the top of the head of Buddy Roberts. Looks like right now Mark Hamilton and Mark Reagan and Larry Hamilton have these two going. Big high, double flying drop kick, and out of the ring goes Terry Bam Bam Gordy.
Oh, you talk about exciting action. The new addition going up against the fabulous Freebird. Reagan trips up. Reagan tried to power out. He was tripped up. Hamilton got there just a second too late. And so the fabulous Freebird gain a highly controversial situation here over the new addition, Mark Reagan and Larry Hamilton. Well, the entire wrestling world is talking about what the NWA is going to have in a series of matches this coming Wednesday night in Miami Beach at the Miami Beach Convention Center. The NWA World Heavyweight Champion Ric Flair will be there to defend his title against the challenge of none other than Wahoo McDaniel. And then, for the first time ever, a $20,000 over-the-top rope tag team battle royal. And here are the teams that are entered. Mike Graham and Brian Blair, Hector Guerrero and Bugsy McGraw, Jesse Barr and Ravishing Rick Rude, Mark and Jay Youngblood, the new addition, Mark Reagan and Larry Hamilton, the missing link and the assassin, Wild Bill Irwin and the Golden Boy, Buddy Roberts, Terry Bam Bam Gordy, and the Freebird, Michael Hayes. And in addition to this, Brian Blair takes on the assassin in a single match. It'll be Hector Guerrero against Rick Rude. Mark Reagan takes on Jesse Barr. Jay Youngblood goes up against the missing link. A spectacular night of wrestling. Mike Graham and Brian Blair are with me right now. Gentlemen, $10,000 apiece if you win it.
You know, Brian, I could use that $10,000, and you probably could too. And it's not just the money, but it's winning. As you being a great amateur, and myself being an amateur, it's winning and competing. The $10,000 apiece is just going to be a little extra gravy on it.
That's right, Mike. Like you said, it's winning. That's the most important thing. And, first off, I'd like to wish Wahoo McDaniel good luck against Ric Flair, and I honestly believe that he can win that title. And number two, Assassin, I'm not going to take you lightly. I got to get by you first. And like Mike Graham said, we've been winners. We've been raised to be winners. We're both from Florida, and we're proud to represent Florida. And we'd be awful happy to get $10,000 each. And Mike, I'm proud to have you as my partner. Good luck to both of us. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. In a moment, we're going to be hearing from Mr. Percy Pringle. He'll have with him in his entourage Ravishing Rick Rude, the Missing Link, and the Florida heavyweight champion, Jesse Barr, because Barr and Rude will be tag team partners in this $20,000 tag team battle royal. Let's listen to those comments at this time.
The promoter approached me. He said, Percy, we're having a tag team battle royal. Which one of your men are we going to put in the battle royal? I lost a lot of sleep. I thought first of all, I knew the Assassin and the Missing Link were going to be right there. No problem. Then I said, who would be worthy enough to team with Rick Rude? Now, the only man that I could think of is the Florida champion, Jesse Barr and Ricky. Oh, what a day it's going to be.
Jess, $20,000, not a whole lot of money, but I'm sure you and I could get into a little mischief with it. Jesse, I'm looking for a couple of beautiful babes for you and I to hit the town with, but I'm looking out west in sunny Southern California because what I've seen down here just doesn't make the grade, brother. Yeah, I need a little money in my pocket, and, we are the only winners in Florida.
I love coming to the state of Florida. I love being called the greatest wrestler alive today. I love driving the women wild in Florida. And I love displaying the fact that I'm the greatest athlete alive today when I come to the state of Florida. But when I heard that Wahoo McDaniel has bought every existing contract that I had coming in next week, Orlando, West Palm Beach, Tampa, Miami, I couldn't believe that one man's ego could be so big that it could get completely in the way if you had good judgment in life. Wahoo, I'm the greatest wrestler alive today, and in Florida next week, Daddy, you're going to find out why. Woo!
Well, Victor Guerrero has joined me once again.
Quiero invitar a todos nuestros amigos latinos, mexicanos, cubanos, lo que usted se habla español. Allí los esperamos porque va a estar una lucha tremenda. Viene Wahoo McDaniel contra Ric Flair. Todos nuestros equipos, todos en una batalla campal. Allí los esperamos, amigos.
Thank you so very much. With me right now is Wahoo McDaniel. You bought up every contract available.
That's right, Gordon, and that might be one man's opinion, Flair, that you're the greatest wrestler in the world today. You do hold the NWA World Heavyweight belt, but a lot of times the way you kept it, man, made me sick at my stomach. Now, I made some good investments, and I had to spend a lot of money. But I bought all your contracts up to make sure you're not going to sneak out on me again. Now, I'm in Florida, and I plan on staying here for a long time. And I plan on representing Florida as the World Heavyweight Champion. Now, I know why you're screaming and hollering, because I know you better than anybody. I've known you since you started wrestling. And when you start screaming and when you start hollering, that means you're afraid. And I can blame you for being afraid. And, being a Miami Dolphin, a former Miami Dolphin, nothing to do me prouder than to win that world's belt right there in Miami in front of all of my friends. And Flair, you can count on it. I'm going to be the new champion.
Well, we saw last week, of course, Rick Rude and Mr. B. Brian Blair wrestle to a time limit. Well, actually, we went off the air. So, special challenge this week, one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Let me explain ahead that in the event that we do have to cut away to a commercial during that match, we will bring you by instant replay. We will continue to take. So if a pinfall or a submission should happen during the match, please be assured that we will bring it to you. It should be a great match. I was talking to Chris Russo at KISS Radio in Orlando last week, and I was on his program, and we were discussing some of the great competitors today, and Mr. B, Brian Blair, is one that nobody can deny. And then, of course, you get a man like Ravishing Rick Rude, who is currently the Southern Heavyweight Champion. And Mr. Rude, of course, is under the management, tutelage, and I would say dominance of Mr. Percy Pringle. Pringle, of course, has such men as the Missing Link and others under his care right now, and it is Ravishing Rick Rude approaching the ring at this time. So let's turn it over to our ring announcer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a special challenge match. It's one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing the participants. To my left, accompanied by his manager, Percival Pringle III, the boss man, from Beverly Hills, California, weighing in at 235 pounds presently, the Southern Heavyweight Champion, the ravishing one, Ravishing Rick Rude. And as for a special challenge match, to my right, from Tampa, Florida, weighing in at 235 pounds, Florida's own Mr. B, the very popular Brian Blair. One fall, 20-minute time limit.
Rick Rude going up against Mr. B, Brian Blair. One fall. This is with a 20-minute time limit. See Percy Pringle standing there, kind of admonishing Mr. B, telling him that he will never have that belt.
By the way, coming up, for those of you getting ready for the big races at the Sebring Grand Prix, as I prefer to call it, don't forget we've got NWA Championship Wrestling coming to Sebring in the Sebring High School Gymnasium on the 30th of March. The 30th of March. So look at this. I'll tell you, this Rude is extremely well muscled. There's no avoirdupois on this man.
Well, both of these men are well-conditioned athletes. Rick Rude really liking to show off that physique of his, and he does have quite an outstanding physique. There's Mr. B, Brian Blair, coming up with a hammerlock, having control of Rick Rude, going over the hip-lock takedown, and laying his full body weight across the upper chest of Rick Rude. You see, by doing this, forces Rick Rude to breathe a little bit harder, using up energy, going into an arm bar now. Looks like Rick Rude might be in for quite a wrestling lesson at the hands of Brian Blair.
We got here a former Florida heavyweight champion, Mr. B, Brian Blair, also a former television champion, up against Ravishing Rick Rude, the current Southern champion. Rude catches that well-muscled shoulder in the turnbuckle, and it's Mr. B, Brian Blair, very quickly. Full arm drag and twist.
Well, there's Brian Blair with that wrist lock on Rick Rude right now. Rick Rude in pain. A nice fireman's carry coming right up with that arm bar. It's like Brian Blair is going to work on that left arm of Rick Rude. Try to wear down one part of the body. Well, got a little bit of a spinning wrist lock on the left arm of Rick Rude. Rick Rude's in trouble. Looks like Brian Blair moved down. Well, you see Percy Pringle there looking a little better. Well, Brian Blair coming right back with that arm bar. Referee checking the shoulders down there. Brian Blair trying to put Rick Rude down on the mat. Coming down with that knee on the upper bicep of Rick Rude. And I'll tell you, that's smart.
Blair keeping a good solid armbar now, high around those deltoids of Ravishing Rick Rude. Rude fires him off, drops to the canvas. Blair up and over his man. Rude catches him a good high. Hip comes down with the elbow, but it is Mr. B out of the way. Mr. B with a spin undertaking. And Pringle is upset. Percy Pringle upset. And referee Del Alfonso admonishing him to keep his comments and his body off the ring apron.
Well, Mr. B has a very good game plan here to stay on that left arm of Ravishing Rick Rude. Seems like every time Rick Rude does come out, well, nice body slam, but Mr. B hanging on to the left arm. That left arm has to be getting fairly weak right now. After a while, it'll be almost useless if Mr. B can just hang on to it long enough.
Ringo marching around to the far side, and there you see him studying the situation. And he is more than somewhat concerned. Of course, every time Pringle signs a contract, he puts his reputation on the line. And sometimes I think he's more concerned about that than he is his competitors.
Well, it's quite obvious that a man like Percy Pringle does not really have any room for losers in his dynasty of wrestlers. So he always tries to get the very best. His record hasn't been quite perfect, particularly since he got Jack Hart under his wing, but I understand the man's improving a lot. But with Rick Rude, he has the Southern Heavyweight title, and he also has the missing link. And I'll tell you, that missing link is one of the roughest, toughest competitors that I have ever seen anywhere in the world. And he is also under the control of Percy Pringle.
Well, the link is. He's just doubly dangerous. He's a man that, I say man, and sometimes Pringle making some heated comment, and Rude trying to slip away from Mr. B could not do it. When you take a fellow like the missing link, and I don't care who you put him in with as a tag team combination, he appears to be almost impervious to pain. He's almost trance-like when he comes into the ring. I don't know whether Pringle has him under some sort of hypnotic suggestion or what, but what a devastating individual. Just absolutely awesome. And is obviously a throwback. There's no question in my mind about that. And now look at Blair trying to get in a grapevine on that leg if he can. Keeps it tied up as a partial Nelson, and Rude trying to turn it around to his own advantage. Rude and Blair reverses that situation. Neither man able to gain a real advantage there, but it is Blair right back on him. Posted that arm, and now just has a flat ride going on Rude.
I think Blair was just a little bit too quick for Rude. Before Rude could get back to his feet and really regain his senses, Blair was right back there on that left arm once again, just hanging on to it. Percy Pringle is really upset. He's back outside the ring there. He's hollering at the fans. He's hollering at everybody that will listen to him, because he sees his man, Rick Rude, is in danger of being defeated here. And if he does lose this match, he could be in trouble with his manager, Percy Pringle. It's like Brian Blair has pretty good control of the match right now. He has a headlock and also has a left arm of Rick Rude barred across his leg.
Blair keeps a lot of pressure on, but is caught in that left eye by ravishing Rick Rude, and Rude very quickly in there with an elbow.
Well, it looks like the tide has changed somewhat. Rick Rude has gotten Mr. B in trouble. In professional wrestling, things can happen so very fast. You move your eyes to the wrong side, give your opponent an opening, and I tell you, a man like Rick Rude's going to take advantage of any and every opportunity, and he has some power in those arms. Look at the size of his arms, the muscular definition of this man.
Rude using those massive forearms. That looks like a fist to me. And Mr. B, Brian Blair, in trouble here in the crowd, picking up a chant. Go, Brian, go. Go, Brian, go. Meanwhile, Percy Pringle looking happier and happier. Brian fires the midsection, fires again. Rude rips across the face of Mr. B, Brian Blair. Brian Blair coming up very, very slowly. Out, a boot to the midsection, another one to that abdominal wall. Again, Rude ripping across the face. Catches with an elbow to the base of the skull. High backdrop by Mr. B, Brian Blair. Rude coming up very slowly. Brian Blair closing in on him. Blair brings him up. Full body slam. Catches him with an elbow across the chest. Lateral press. Rude, good upper body straight. Rolls him off. Back on their feet once again and again. It is Blair caught in the eyes by Rude. Rude with a size 12 into the side of the rib cage. One of the thoracic area of the back once again. And a rear chin lock now by one Rick Rude.
Boy, the referee checking there to make sure it's not a chokehold. Some of the wrestling fans seem to think it's a choke, but it's not a choke. He has the reverse chin lock. The pressure is on the side of the head, not on the throat. Brian Blair forcing his way back to his feet. This is going to be a test of strength now. These men are very, very close in strength.
I'll tell you what, it looks to me like we're going to have to cut away for a commercial break here. As I said, should a pinfall occur, a submission hold, we will we'll let you know. We'll be back. We'll be back in just 120 seconds. NWA World Heavyweight Champion Ric Flair returns to Miami Beach in the Miami Beach Convention Center this coming Wednesday night to defend that title against the challenge of Wahoo McDaniel of great former Miami Dolphins. In addition, for the first time ever, there will be a $20,000 tag team battle royal over the top rope elimination. Mike Graham and Brian Blair, one team entered. Hector Guerrero and Bugsy McGraw. Jesse Barnes, Ravishing Rick Rude. Mark and Jay Youngblood. Mark Reagan and Larry Hamilton, the new addition. The Missing Link and the Assassin. It'll be Wild Bill Irwin and Buddy Roberts. And Terry Bam Bam Gordy and Michael Hayes. These are the teams entered in the $20,000 over the top rope tag team battle royal. Remember, if one man is eliminated in a team, the team is eliminated. There will also be 4 individual matches. Mr. B, Brian Blair, facing the Assassin. Hector Guerrero against Rick Rude. Mark Reagan against Jesse Barr. Jay Youngblood against the Missing Link. Well, a pinfall nor a submission hold has occurred while we were away. And it is Rick Rude and a top wrist lock with Mr. B, Brian Blair. Both men's bodies glistening now with the perspiration as this match is really beginning to take its toll. And neither man able to gain a pinfall, and it's Blair driving a shoulder to the midsection. Blair beginning to lose his cool a bit here. Blair smashing away at the midsection, catches Rude once again. Rude caught on the side of the jaw. Blair, full body slam on Mr. Ravishing Rick Rude. Blair comes off that top rope. And there you see Pringle up on that ring apron. And he is just dumped into the ring by Mr. B, Brian Blair. Rude catches Blair from behind. And that may have been a bad mistake. Or Brian Blair as Rude catches him. A lariat coming off the ropes. It might be all over for Mr. B, Brian Blair. Blair able to come out of it once again.
Well, Blair made a very bad mistake by turning on to Mr. Pringle there. And the fact that he had to turn his back on Rick Rude. Oh, hey, big flying forearm coming off the rope. He got the pin.
Goes to Mr. B, Brian Blair. Mr. B, Brian Blair gets the pinfall. Wait a minute. The Missing Link has just appeared upon the scene. And Percy Pringle is headed this way. Rick Rude defeated right in the middle of the ring.
All right, Scully, this is totally uncalled for. Did you see that man pull me into the ring?
What were you doing in the ring?
I was talking to the referee. The man came over, he grabbed over my trap and pulled me in the ring. I'll tell you one thing, the promoters around here, they keep putting Rick Rude. They keep putting Rick Rude on TV every week. TV, every week. I'm tired of it.
Well, I'll tell you what. It's a good thing that Southern title wasn't on the line or he'd no longer be champion.
You always got some smart remark, don't you? I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. Come on. How could I watch myself and watch my manager at the same time? Blair, you keep him away from my manager. That man ain't nothing going forward. Mr. Blair, you got a warning. Western Union Telegram, buddy. You better watch out.
All right. Well, all I can say is that it's very lucky for Mr. Pringle that Southern title wasn't on the line because Mr. B, Brian Blair, certainly scored an impressive win. We'll be back with more action in a moment.
For television time remaining, introducing to my left from St. Petersburg, Florida, at 228 pounds, the man with a perfect record, Jack Hart, and his opponent from Brandon, Florida, weighing in at 275 pounds, Bugsy McGraw.
Jack Hart, who is now under the management of Percy Pringle, going up against Bugsy McGraw. And Mr. Pringle must feel that he's got a secret weapon in Jack Hart. I saw somebody over there with a big T-shirt that said, member of the Sweetheart Losing Club or Losers Club or something to that effect.
Well, you know, Gordon, doesn't seem like Percy Pringle is using good common sense by putting his man, Jack Hart, up against Bugsy McGraw. Bugsy McGraw is so tough and rugged. See right there, Jack Hart gave him a good forearm upside the chest. All they did was aggravate Bugsy McGraw a little bit.
McGraw, big, powerful, unpredictable. Hard, full body strength.
Well, nothing bothers Bugsy McGraw. There's Percy Pringle trying to give some instruction to Jack Hart, telling him what to do to win the match. But I tell you, he's really got his hands full. There's Bugsy McGraw just waiting for him, motioning him, come on out, let's get on with it.
There's signs up all over the audience. One, member Sweetheart Losing Club or Losers Club, another one, still counting. They're referring to Hart's one-loss record, which is 0 and something now. And maybe even Hart charging this time. McGraw, singing left hand. Right hand to the side of the jaw of Hart has him in a lot of trouble. McGraw brings him up. Atomic knee drop on Jack Hart. Bugsy McGraw crashes down across him. Gets the 3 count. And lines are coming up again. Percy Pringle. I don't know what that record is. We might catch it on the screen. I'm not sure. 0 and 46. 0 and 46 is 1-0, lost 46. And joining me here very briefly as we close out this hour is my good friend Hector Guerrero.
I'm super excited, first of all, with that 10,000 battle royal going on. And I was happy to have Bugsy McGraw, which you just saw right now, as my tag team partner. I am super excited because it's going to be the first time ever having a tag team in such a big battle royal. But not only that, you just saw the great win of Brian Blair over Rick Root. I'm sure that Mr. Root's going to have to come up with something ravishing against Mr. Blair for any kind of such thing. Bugsy, super.
Okay.
Part of this great battle royal that's coming on. Aren't you excited? Just like Hector said, I'm sure.
Hart, time is gone. That's all I can say is goodbye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.